People are going crazy over the star-studded chaos Argylle. It's the latest brainchild of the talented Matthew Vaughn. Moreover, we've got Henry Cavill, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Dua Lipa, John Cena, and a bunch more big names in this spy extravaganza. It's practically Hollywood's who's who. But the buzz is not about how good the movie is. It's all about the lowest Rotten Tomatoes score of Matthew Vaughn's filmography ever. And I'm not kidding. So let's get to the chase. Did I love this movie? No. Did I want to love it? Absolutely. Is it a terrible movie? Nah, but it's not the bomb that I was expecting. Matthew Vaughn is the guy who brought us the Kingsman movies, but this time he decided to go on a different adventure with Argylle. As you know, Kingsman was all about the R-rated action and humor mix, and we loved it for that. Now, Argylle brings in a mix of tones. Some people are pointing fingers at the never-ending negative aspect. Kingsman had those cool plots and good pace, but Argylle is catching flack for too much talking. The action sequences, though not as polished as the first Kingsman, are still entertaining. There's one involving ice skating that's so absurd, it's amusing. But the movie length might make you wish for an eject button. At 2 hours and 20 minutes, it's like a spy novel that just won't end. The story revolves around Bryce Dallas Howard as Ellie, a successful author of Argylle books. These spy thrillers she writes end up being a bit too close to the truth, and suddenly she's on a hit list. The vibe between them works. These are moments like on a train or at a winery that hit the sweet spot. But the movie just couldn't maintain the sweet spot throughout. Ellie Conway is a spy novelist whose stories predict real-life stuff. It's like writing fiction, and suddenly it's playing out for real. Ellie's life goes from book signers to high-stakes spy games in no time. But wait, it turns into a mashup of genres inspired by all your favorite action flicks: John Wick, Mission Impossible, Fast and Furious, you name it. Moreover, Argylle bombards you with exposition. Of course, Vaughn's signature style is there, but so is some recycled stuff. Familiar ideas and visuals make a cameo. The chemistry between Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell is also here, but the film struggles with finding its tone, especially if we're comparing it to Vaughn's Kingsman series. And it turns out, despite being a big name in the cast list, Cavill's role is more of a disappearing act. In reality, he's not really there much. The buzz around his involvement might have been a clever trick to get us all intrigued. People are wondering if there were behind-the-scenes issues like clashes in schedules or creative differences that led to the limited screen time. Some even say his scenes got a bit of a trim during the editing process. The marketing got us all hyped, but when you watch the movie, you're left asking, where's Henry Cavill? They put him in this cringy spoof situation that probably made him regret signing up for this movie. The Argylle just didn't land well, especially for an A-lister like Cavill. I can't help but wonder why he chose to do this. It's a bit haunting, you know? It keeps me up at night. The movie itself tries to mix things up, but this particular move with Cavill? Not their best idea. Now, a lot of us are expecting some serious action vibes from Argylle, but honestly, it doesn't quite hit that mark. The whole PG-13 thing is new for Vaughn, steering away from his usual R-rated territory, and the action CGI is not so hot, especially in the final act. It's a bit like they missed the mark, leaving you questioning where all the budget went. It obviously costs a lot to keep Henry Cavill on the screen for more than 5 minutes. The humor is a bit hit and miss, but when it lands, it usually is thanks to Sam Rockwell, who steals the show with his comedic timing. The movie plays up the campiness, and sometimes it works, and other times it feels like the film is having its head up its own spy-themed ass. Argylle had a cool start, but somewhere along the way, it loses its mojo. It ends up borrowing too much from other, better movies, missing the chance to stand out. And let's talk about the cat in Argylle. It's just a cute and random addition that makes the movie a bit whimsical. Some people might scratch their head and wonder if the cat has any deeper meaning in the story. I left the cinema questioning if the cat in the movie was real or just bad CGI. For Peter's sake, I hope it's the latter. Speaking of CGI, in Argylle, it is pretty noticeable, and honestly, it's not that can be a bit distracting. Hollywood really needs to step up its game. And yes, there's a promise of a cinematic universe with a post-credit sequence that left me feeling like I'd been punched in the face. Seriously, Hollywood, calm down with the extended universes. Overall, the movie felt a bit sloppy and lazy. Maybe some tighter editing and more attention to the little things could have made it even better. And obviously, Rotten Tomatoes is not showing much love to Argylle, with a debut score of 37%. It's Matthew Vaughn's new record low. Critics are throwing punches left and right, calling it chaotically stupid and very, very bad.